Hello! We went to the Vic tonight and watched Gremlins 2, the Nw Btch, the 1990 follow-up to, is it 1983's Gremlins? 1983, 1984, one of those years, where, the Gremlins take New York. Instead of in a idyllic Norman Rockwell small town, they're in New York. They're in Clump Towers or whatever the hell it's called. Basically, a stand-in for Donald Trump's the Trump buildings. It's funny they go in, they zoom in the at the the skyline, and you see the two towers buildings. Not particularly noted, just, they happen to be there. Their two columns are there, so there's that. Yes, the Donald Trump figure of Clamp is there. Kind of a mixture of Trump and Ted Turner, who was the media tycoon of the time, who was colorizing black and white films and had his own kind of goofy, melomaniacal ideas. And Clamp in this movie, it's eerie because, he ends up with Marla at the end of the movie, which, is a joke, and it's a little quick joke in itself. But there's a whole ton of little quick jokes in here. But he's not a bad guy. He's an evil capitalist, but he's not like malevolent, It's like he wants to save the city and get all the credit for it and all that stuff. It's kind of almost the Giuliani kind of thing. Yeah, but yes, this is he waits for the elderly Chinese fellow. Still horrible politics of Asian representation in this movie, Japanese or Chinese representation in this movie. Waits until he dies and then rips down his thing, and Mowgli is thrown onto the streets, at which point one of the tenants of Clamp building a genetic thing, one of the twins actually that is also used as a single character in Terminator 2, snatches him up and takes him back to the genetics lab there, where through various happenstance, of course, the Gremlins are replicated again. The Gremlins aren't as expressive, I find, in this movie as the last one. I think that would be my only criticism of this movie is, I just didn't find the puppetry as expressive. I mean, the gags are fucking, just relentless, mile a minute. The plot isn't big. The two Phoebe Cates and the guy who I can't remember his name. They're plucky kids in the thing. Phoebe Cates gets a terrifying scene in an elevator, which is strangely kind of like girl in peril sort of stuff. There's that, and then her with Marla with the spider and the spider webs, which is also, yes. But it's a 1990 movie, but you can tell we're still firmly in the 80s. There is references, very heavy references to Rambo, Clamp being Trump. Hulk Hogan shows up in the movie. Leonard Maltin does a little bit. It is such an 80s movie. Yogo restaurant, all the mall stuff, very much still tearing that. It's very zany. It's very madcap. I'd say the first one is a little bit more atmospheric, has a little bit more kind of cinematic quality. This is a little bit more flatly shot in places, more RoboCop than the first one in that kind of cinematography. I guess it's an 80s kind of flat, almost what we'd call kind of almost television style some places. But yeah, just all the goopy grossness of all the things, even if they aren't as expressive. There's one thing where it one of the creatures in Jackson becomes kind of a hypersexualized. It's almost like a Miss Piggy character, which might look at it now and think it's almost got kind of a trans kind of transphobic kind of thing of like the ending is almost like some like it hot, like you could almost see Robert Picardo, our holographic doctor. He goes on to be a holographic doctor. Him at the end, him giving that smirk, it's almost like him saying, nobody's perfect at the end of some like it hot. So there's that. It's not mean. It's not like, oh my God, this is the grossest thing ever. It's like, nobody's perfect. It's like, it's pretty good. I could be into that with a gremlin. Oh my God. So yes, it was just a fun movie. Okay. And my favorite part, in the first movie, Phoebe Cates has a whole thing about why she hates Christmas, which scarred a lot of people for life and really made an impression on me. I remember to this day. So in this movie, someone mentions Lincoln, and she says, don't talk to me about Lincoln. It was the whatever the President's Day, presidential holiday, and a man in a Lincoln's mask, and I'm laughing so fucking hard in the theater. Everyone's fucking staring at me, because it's like, oh my God, she's got a trauma for every fucking holiday. and Billy, her co-lead's like, we don't have time for that right now, and kind of pushes her off the screen. Which I, for one, think is the greatest joke in the movie. Maybe, others might think it's Leonard Maltin giving it a crappy review, or the guy saying, hey, what about, like, if a gremlin was in a plane and it was crossing time zones, would that fuck up the rule? At which point a gremlin pops out and eats them. It's like, those are all good jokes. But for me, it's the Phoebe Kate, going on about how she's traumatized on each and every holiday. That's just hilarious. All right. I am going to leave it there. So much fun. Fun movie. Gremlins 2, The Nw Btch.